effect of the axis tilt lab. The objectives are: the students should be able to evaluate how the degree of the axis tilt determines the seasons and predict the effects of the different degrees of tilt. For the do now, on a quarter piece of paper, please answer the following question. Why do we have seasons? Please press pause if you need more time.
What causes Earth's seasons? Earth's seasons are caused by Earth's tilt on its axis. Instead of going straight up and down, Earth's axis tilts 23.5 degrees. Can you see why the tilt causes Earth to have seasons throughout the year? Let's find out. Here's the energy of the sun. Notice that it hits the lower half of Earth, called the southern hemisphere, most directly. The sun's energy hits the northern hemisphere too, but look at how the northern hemisphere is pointed away from the sun. Also, the light hits at an angle that causes the energy to be spread out over a greater area. So at this spot in Earth's revolution, it receives less of the sun's energy. When more of the sun's energy hits the southern hemisphere, it causes the temperature to go up. It's summertime. More sunlight, longer days. With less of the sun's energy hitting the northern hemisphere, it gets a lot colder. Put on your winter coat. Less sunlight, shorter days. Let's see how the seasons change as Earth revolves around the sun. So, why do seasons change? Because the tilt of Earth's axis causes the hemispheres to receive different amounts of the sun's energy. That's some cool science.
What else does a globe show us? There are 3 distinct weather regions on Earth. The first is called the tropics. It covers the area from 23 degrees, 27 minutes northern latitude, called the Tropic of Cancer, to 23 degrees, 27 minutes southern latitude, called the Tropic of Capricorn. The Tropic of Cancer is the northernmost latitude where the sun can shine directly overhead. The Tropic of Capricorn is the southernmost latitude where the sun can shine directly overhead. The tropics are known for their warm, sunny climate year-round. The coldest areas are the polar regions. The northern polar region reaches from the North Pole down to the 66-degree, 30-minute northern latitude, which is called the Arctic Circle. The southern polar region reaches from the South Pole up to the 66-degree, 30-minute southern latitude, known as the Antarctic Circle. The areas between the polar regions and the tropics are called the temperate regions, as the temperatures are more mild or temperate. 4 distinct seasons can be observed in the temperate regions.
With the lab in front of you, you now have a figure with a globe tilted at 23.5 degrees. We will now go through the directions to label this. First, you will take your index card and align it on the surface of the sun, the left-hand line of the box, and move it to the very top of the globe so that almost all of the globe is now covered. You will place a point in the very center of the top of the globe, and this is where the last light rays will hit the Earth. You will then use your card and utilize the axis as a perpendicular to draw a half a line across the center, and then you will remove the card and use that line now as a reference to continue the line across the top. What is this line you now drew? It is the Arctic Circle. For the next, we will now work with the center of the globe. Take your card once again and align it into the center of the globe. Make points on either end of the globe where the card meets the edge. This is where the most direct rays will hit. Then, using the same procedure, you will utilize the index card to do a half line across the center and use that line as a reference to continue the line across. Rewind if you need to do so. What is the line that we just created? This is the Tropic of Cancer. This is where the most direct rays will hit as high up in the northern hemisphere. This happens during the summer in the northern hemisphere on June 21st or 22nd. We will now repeat the procedure for the bottom. Once again, using the index card to draw a half line. And what line did you just draw? Rewind if you would need to repeat the procedure. This is the Tropic of Capricorn. For the final part of drawing the globe, we will do the same process, but we will move the card all the way to the bottom, make a point, and use the same procedure to do a half line across, and then use that line as a reference. What is this line that we just drew? This is the Antarctic Circle. Now this is how the globe is in the real world, and we will now label the various zones. First, we would like you to find the tropic zone and pick a colored pencil so that you can color in the area. The tropic zone lies just above and just below the equator. I have chosen the color red, and I have colored in the tropic zone. Then find the polar zones. Now we will find the polar zone. The polar zone I selected the color blue. Color in the various sections that consist for the polar zones, both in the northern and southern hemisphere. Lastly, we will color in the temperate zone. I have left this as the color white to make it easier on the eyes. You have now completed the procedure for the globe. You now must answer all of the questions that are in the lab, and you will use the same exact procedure for every single globe, but you will notice different effects on the zones with the various axis tilt. Please rewind the video if need practice for the procedure.